Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Hardin Local's first artist spotlight. I don't know if you guys can hear that audio distortion, but if you can, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna mute everybody but me while we get started. Uh, Thank you for joining us, Hardin Local Artist Spotlight. Uh, you want to check out hardinlocal.com, you can go there, or you can go scan the QR code at the top corner up there. And that I've added a bunch of links for Eddie's Facebook and all his different. I guess I don't have his TikTok link on there, but I also have his Etsy store and a bunch of other stuff there. So you can go there, follow him, and have some fun. Anywho, like I said, did you guys hear that those audio issues before I had? Okay, you can hear it. Audio is good. We're gonna unmute. I got everybody muted right now, but we're gonna undo that. And let us know. I know I can hear something, but I want to know if the audio. I want to know if the people watching can hear the distortion in the background. Let us know right now. But maybe it's just on our end. Okay, got better. Well, we'll try. But if it gets bad, you guys let us know because we want this to be a good experience. And if we need to reschedule it because of the audio issues, that's what we'll do. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. I got John O'Brien over here. He's one of my hosts. He does a lot of at Hardin Local, one of the co-hosts, regulars. And then, of course, we got Eddie right above me. And crazy thing art. That's great. Well, we're gonna try to make this work. It seems like when one of us unmutes, there's some feedback or something. But if you guys don't hear it, the viewers, then it'll be fine. All right, Eddie. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. This is awesome. I love it.
This is gonna be great. We'll go ahead and get started. So, Eddie, how did airbrushing first find its way into your life?
Well, the cool thing is I've always been artistic, not autistic, artistic. I love to draw, love to create, but I never really had a good outlet. And then actually 11 years ago, my mom and my uncle Randy decided you need an airbrush kit. They tried to talk me into it, and I'm like, no, that sounds expensive. So they got me one for Christmas, and it came with everything you need to get started. And it was like opening Pandora's box. Like, it was amazing. It was crazy because the first thing I ever airbrushed on was the styrofoam it came in. Like, I instantly plugged it in, put it up, put some paint in it, and I was already spraying. It was amazing. I was kind of forced into it.
That's great. Was there a moment when you realized this isn't just a hobby, this is my career?
That actually took years. But yeah, there was definitely a moment that it happened. It took a couple years to get into it. You do the research. It's just a hobby on the weekends. And then after a couple years, I had a couple people like, hey, I like what you're doing. Think you can make me a license plate? Well, yeah. Like, you know, and you just either give it away or, you know, $20, you can have it, whatever. And then it started building on that and building and building and building. And believe it or not, I used to actually airbrush rocks, the little hidden, go hide them in the parks and things. And that was fun. I'd give those away, but it got a little out of hand. People get a hold of stuff and they run with it, and it got way out of hand. I had a lot of stalkers literally trying to follow me to parks, and they would spend 12 hours a day trying to find these and be messaging me saying, "Hey, I'm out here at this park. I want to know where it's at now." And I'm like, guys, this is for fun. But the more I put into it, the more people wanted. The more I airbrushed, the more people would ask me to airbrush. And it was amazing. So I got to the point where I would spend just as much time doing this as I would my factory job. So eventually I got out of the factory, started doing construction, started working at a body shop, started doing this. I was doing 3 jobs at once. And then it got to the point where this was taking over. So I had no choice. Me and the wife talked about it. I was like, I really think that if I just had more time to do it, that I could make a legitimate income. And of course, back then, cost of living was down pretty good. Economy was going great. So this was just over 5.5 years ago. She said, you know what? I fully support you. It's amazing the support system you're building. Go for it. If it don't work, I'm not. I've got a lot of skills and a lot of experience. I know I can build on that and get another job. I always have a backup plan. That means it's time to jump. Really, I'm going to do this. So I told everybody, like, here's what I'm doing, and I'm going to commit. And about a month later, the world ended.
You talking about COVID?
Right before I went into the February 4th or something like that is when I went full time, and they literally a month later, guess what? Everybody stopped. No, you can't do that. No, but it ended up being a blessing. It really, everybody went online. Sales went online. I went online more. It was epic.
So the pandemic did the pandemic in any way push you to go on full time, or you'd already decided to go full time?
I had already decided, and then it hit.
Okay.
I had already been given quotes. I had a quote at that time to go to Canada. I was looking into getting passports. Had somebody wanted me to go to a big mural up in Canada. I remember looking at that, and they were talking about some kind of flu-like thing that was going on, so they had to wait and see what that was about. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, I had no idea. And I didn't really watch the news a lot back then, and I was busy airbrushing. But now
we got a question. We got a question for. I'm not trying to interrupt you. We got a question. Teresa Isaacs asks, how can someone find your artwork?
That's easy. The easiest way is to Google search Crazy Thing Art. If you Google me, and it tickles every time you do it, if you Google me, you'll find me absolutely everywhere.
And we also have his Etsy shop, his website, and his Facebook and his Instagram tagged at hardinlocal.com. Do you go there now? It's really not a website. It's our link tree. I added links. It's at the top. You'll see it. And all right, well, let's move on. What gave you the courage to take the leap to go full time?
You did. Every single person that listens to me, every single person that supports my creativity and encouraging me, encouragement's huge, especially for an artist. An artist that puts his passion and puts his heart into everything also gets it broken just as bad. Like, somebody discourages you, you get a troll, you get a bad review, you know, it literally breaks your heart. And but the people, man, I love what you're doing. And it wasn't even about whether or not I was any good at the art. They loved what I was doing. And when I first jumped into this, I was doing it for my children. I thought, because at the factories, there was a while I was working, and a lot of people do this around here, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. No time for nothing. My kids barely knew my name. I was working a third shift job for 8.5 years. I couldn't stand it. My heart wasn't into anything, and it just wasn't working. I thought that's what a man was supposed to do. You bring home a paycheck, that's it. Nothing else matters.
That's what they told us anyway.
Right. Well, I knew that, honestly, when I first started doing it, I thought, well, maybe I can work a part-time job and then do this part-time. I never would have dreamed that I'd be in Hardin County, Kentucky doing this full-time. There's no way. Next thing I know, when I started going full-time, I couldn't keep up, and it's exploded ever since. But I knew that I could teach my kids, no matter what, follow your dreams. And with hard work and God, anything is possible.
Gotcha. That's great. What's your deeper why? What keeps you picking up that airbrush every day?
Well, it's cool you asked that, because my business has evolved. At first, it was, you got to make the nickels, you got to make the sales, you got to do this, you got to do that, and I'm doing it for my kids. Well, now my kids are getting older, and I could literally have the president's helicopter in my backyard to airbrush, and it wouldn't even surprise them anymore. So it's not as much doing it for them, because I am leading them every single day. They see my integrity, but I've been doing it for long enough now. I get to actually make an impact. And this literally wakes me up every day, from the people that I've lost that have supported me to my family and friends. And then I come online and I've got so many people that encourage me. Well, now I've got so much business that I take a portion of my business and I put it towards helping out other people. So I'm responsible for actually using my artwork to make impacts on people. I'm using pigmented water to make a difference in the world. That's incredible. I love
It is. We had a question. Megan Siddons, she asked, what are some of your favorite things to airbrush?
it. Well, my all-time favorite is always my next piece. And that's because I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I do not do stencils. That is what makes me stand out from other airbrush artists. I don't use a stencil. I don't draw it first. I don't have a projector putting it on a screen where or anything like that. I just airbrush it. To me, if you can airbrush it, why do you need to draw it if you can already do it? But that does make me stand out above everybody else. But I'd say the absolute favorite genre has got to be memorial pieces.
What do you mean by memorial pieces?
Well, you've got the pet portraits. When somebody loses a pet, they'll get a hold of me, which is, everybody that has lost a pet knows it's like losing a family member. But I've had other ones where I will literally get a message 10 paragraphs long about a story that'll break your heart. And they touch me. Like I have literally been airbrushing a shirt with a memorial of a young lady on it while the mother is watching me do it live on TikTok, who she has invited all the family, the grandmothers and the aunts and the uncles live streaming while I've got tears going down my face because I got to get this right. And I'm able to make that impact with these people while I'm airbrushing it, and they get to have that whole experience versus just getting a shirt in the mail going, look what we did. It's that impact.
That's cool. We got another question here from, I'm only going to try to say the name, but what's the biggest, it's on screen. So what's the biggest thing you've ever painted?
Let's see, I've done a VW bus that had about 60 hours in it. Everybody local knows where Laker Drive-In is. The artwork all over the building there, that was me.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I've done right behind you, which I cannot show you. I've got a bunch of pieces behind the camera I can't show you yet. There's a 4 foot by 8 foot panel behind you. I just got back from West Virginia doing a 4 foot by 10 foot sign. There's literally nothing off limits. I've done a 40 foot banner. It was a Halloween banner that I had in this shop. Anything.
How long something like that take to do?
That one took about 3 weeks on and off because I had to literally roll it out at about 8 or 10 feet at a time, airbrush it, let it dry, seal it, let that dry, and then roll that part up so I could unroll the rest. It was a very had to do it in stages.
Cool. What's the smallest piece you've ever done?
I knew I'd get this question. All right, so here's where I get to show off a little bit, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Because you will have to stop me. I could talk about me forever. But
I'll stop you when it's time. Don't worry.
See how well the camera picks that up.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, it gets better. So I like to test myself. I've airbrushed pool balls, rocks, shifter knobs. It's a pretty small stuff. But if you can airbrush a quarter, that leaves room for going smaller.
It's like quantum airbrushing.
Look at how small those teeth are.
Wow.
Well, that's a penny, but we can do better than that.
Gosh, I'm dying.
The camera doesn't even want to pick the details of that up. Now, I don't really want to be like, here's what I can do. It's more of, I've done these to encourage other artists. When other artists come into my live, they tell me all the time, I'm a good airbrush artist and I still use stencils and I got the $800 airbrush gun. I'm better than you are. And like, okay. So can you do this? Because until you learn how to use your equipment correctly, It isn't about what the art looks like at the end, because technically you can go to Staples and print out whatever you want and call it art.
That's true. So, what's the strangest or most unexpected thing you've ever airbrushed?
All right, so I don't know your audience well enough to know how bad this could get.
We try to keep it PG-13, you know.
Okay, so I'll try to keep it PG-13. I do body art. For one, for those that don't know, I do airbrush tattoos for the kids at all the local schools. We use little stencils for that. That's the only thing you'll see me use a stencil for. It's not really an art thing as much as it is just creating that smile for the kids. So I do that, but then I have other events where I go to places like Lexington or Nashville or Indiana, all over, and we do private events or go to bars, bar mitzvahs, all kinds of events, and we do body art. PG-13. Okay, I don't airbrush any orifice whatsoever. No ear, no nose, and on and on and on. Just because it's just health reasons. So you can let your imagination go wherever you want. So that is pretty wild sometimes. The other is the people that contact you with kinks and fetishes, bondage equipment. I know a dominatrix that sent me a bag one time that said all of her toys that she uses to hurt people will go in this bag, and it's going to have my artwork on it. And I'm like,
Oh gosh. That was
okay.
probably my bad for even asking the question, you know?
I could go into the bodysuits.
No, no.
I mean,
No, we got to keep it like a little more friendly so I don't
it
get
gets as
kicked off.
it usually gets as wild as you can imagine, and then add some more.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
So
Which
with the kid tattoos, do they use a different type of paint for that versus a mural
Yep.
or anything else?
Yeah, it's actually makeup. It's hypoallergenic. I've never had a bad reaction, and it's actually makeup.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
It doesn't spray as good as the paint, so I can't get my level of detail that I do in a painting, like on your back. It won't be the same, but we still have lots of fun with it.
That's great. If you could airbrush one famous landmark, what would it be and why?
A landmark. Is that well, locally I've already did that. That'd be Laker Drive-In, just because of the history that involved in my life going there as a child and everything. But an actual landmark itself, I don't know. I mean, Mount Rushmore would be pretty cool.
That's what would pop in my head when I asked the question.
I could just imagine being in a crane with my airbrush gun, going wild on it, maybe doing some cool texture work or something on one of the faces. I have airbrushed a mural on an RV of Crazy Horse, the monument. So maybe when they get that done, they can give me a call and I'll go up there and I'll airbrush it for them.
That's cool. Do you have a favorite surface to paint on?
I am learning that airbrushing on metal is probably my favorite because of the level of detail that I can get involved in. Because from back here, you see an eye, but when you get closer, you can actually get in there and see veins and a little bit of everything. You have to know your equipment. You have to reduce your paint exactly correct. But you can see the dewdrops and the details, and I can get as fine as I absolutely want to, and to make the coolest noise in the world.
That's great. How long does a piece usually take, and what project really tested your patience?
So the VW bus probably, I put a dragon on that one. And there were 60 hours of mostly dragon scales. And at the end of the day, you made it a few feet with nothing but dragon scale. That one, I wish I'd have had a little bit more creativity, freedom on it, so I could have put more into it. But for the most part, I just love what I do so much. So I've been asked to airbrush a few like wedding dresses and stuff like that, because I can do clothes all the way from your shoes to your hat and everything in the middle. So women will send a dress to me and I'll airbrush like Jack Skellington on it or something, and they love it. But I did have a lady that sent me one time that looked like really thick plush carpet. So when you spray it, it goes like this. And I'm like, how in the world what am I going to do? They wanted Tasmanian devil on it. So what I ended up doing was spraying a sealer over top of it first to stiffen everything up. And then I was able to put the design on it. So being an artist, I get creative, and you have to figure out a way to make it happen.
This is true. Crazy thing art. Well, I already asked that question. I guess my AI question writer kind of messed that one up. So we'll go on to this next one. Do you have a dream commission if money, time, and logistics weren't an issue?
Yeah, actually, people tell you all the time, well, the sky's the limit. And I look at them and say, well, why would you limit yourself like that? Okay, so I don't have limits. I actually want something I've airbrushed to go to space. So Elon, if you're listening, call me up. We're going to make it happen.
That's great. Hey, John, do you want to do this lightning round?
Yeah,
We got the lightning round.
The lightning round, yeah. So quick and easy. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, nice. Little. So we got coffee or sweet tea while you paint.
Usually sweet tea because I only do coffee on Fridays.
All right. Most used color in your paint stash.
White. I can make anything come out of the darkness.
Oh, that's nice. If you could airbrush one celebrity, either their likeness or them, who would it be?
Johnny Depp.
Nice.
He's a name.
Any specific character? Like, would there be a character you would want to do, or you just want to do him as the person?
I've airbrushed his characters, so I think him himself, because he's actually into art himself and has done some of his own portraits. So that'd be cool.
That's a good one too, yeah. And what's the soundtrack in your head or playing when you're just getting at something, when you're working that 18th hour, like you're just going?
Linkin Park.
Nice.
Great choice.
I'm going good at it. They've got
Very good, yeah.
Music.
That is great. I had another question too. Like, and I think you kind of got into it a little bit. And this isn't a lightning round. This is kind of a getting into it. Do you prefer someone saying, "This is exactly what I want," or "Hey, here's this broad thing. Give me something great"?
Well, that's the amazing thing about the people that support me. I've got so many of them. They know my work. They know what it's worth. They love it no matter what. So I have a lot of people that will give me some guidance. Like, hey, I just want something creepy and I like spiders. Okay. And they don't give me any reference pictures. They say, go with it, give it your style. That's probably the best I'm going to do. But on the polar opposite of that, what I don't want, I have had people that will literally buy a canvas of it, big sizes, good money, and say, put whatever you want on it. That's like a writer's block. Like, you can't do that to me because I'm so afraid of doing something wrong now. I have nothing to go by, no guidelines whatsoever. It isn't about the money because literally you gave me permission to spit on it and sell it to you. So I want to do this. I want to do an absolute incredible piece for you, but I can't because you gave me nothing to go on. I want you to be proud of it when you get it and hang it on your wall and be like, look what I got. So that's
great. Yeah, like I said, that a little bit of guidance, but some freedom too.
Right. I do love reference pictures, and I tell everybody one of my call signs is a likeness. I will airbrush a likeness for you. Portraits are not my best friend because it's so difficult to airbrush a human on a freehand because one little line makes it look like another human. That's why hands are the most difficult thing.
That's very true. Like I said, I've heard that from tattoo artists as well. They've said like hands and also like even particular portraits. Like Johnny Cash is apparently a hard portrait to get, I've heard. I don't know if you agree with that.
Children are the worst. You need, as an airbrush artist anyway, you need a distinctive characteristic. I need that beard right there and your hat. I could do a good up-close personal with you portrait. You'll love it. You know, your family will love it. Everybody will recognize it. But if you told me, okay, so here's my 4-year-old, I've got nothing to go on. There's not anything specific to give me that characteristic. And then by the time you order it, by the time I get it done, and it's 6 months later, your 4-year-old is not even going to look like that anymore. So the side by side is going to be. I've had that happen.
Cool. If you weren't airbrushing, what other art form would you try?
I always loved to draw, and people have tried to get me to do tattoos since I was 12 years old. I've got a steady hand, and I can literally draw anything or a likeness of anything. But tattooing is not something I want to do just because, well, none of this stuff complains when I airbrush it, and I would rather make you smile than bleed. So I have looked, when I first started doing this full time, I was terrified, absolutely terrified. So I actually did talk to a few tattoo shops, and I did buy all the equipment to tattoo just in case anything was to ever happen. I could still attempt to make my art be my living.
That's cool. What's your favorite season to paint in? Like fall, winter, summer, or all of them?
Well, difficulty-wise, winter's the hardest because I have a wood stove out here, so I'm splitting firewood. I'm creating a lot of dust, and it's 5 degrees outside. I'm coming out here and trying for 2 hours to warm my shop up before I can ever even wet my airbrush gun. So that makes it difficult. In the summer, my shop has gotten up to 115, 120 degrees. You got to have a fan on you. So something in the middle, springtime, fall, those nice crisp mornings, or when it's 40, 50 degrees, you get a little bit of chill, but it's going to warm up to that nice 70 sweet spot. I'll airbrush all day.
We had somebody ask a question here. Teresa Isaacs, what is your nemesis? I can never say that word.
They know me too well. Okay. My nemesis is the horse. I've got a good friend of mine who is a farrier, and she inspired me because she got her farrier business off the ground while she was working full time, and she was only 19 years old. And I was like, what is my excuse? So the purpose of the horse is I want to be able to airbrush an absolute perfect, picture perfect horse one day where you won't be able to tell the difference between a photo and my airbrushing. And this so far is one of my best.
That's really good.
I've got another one that's 3 foot by 3 foot. It's the whole horse that turned out really good. But for the most part, when I look at this, I see every flaw. And in my opinion, I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
It's the same question twice in the comments. So I'm going to let you brag a little. Can you explain the Crazy Thing Army?
Crazy Thing Army. Y'all, they're trying to make me cry is what they want to do. 3 years ago, there was a lady named Hannah who had this idea when I first got on TikTok. She's like, she was actually military family and stuff, so the Army part came from her idea. And she said, you should put hashtag Crazy Thing Army out there. And I thought, well, that's kind of odd sounding. Sounds egotistical in my opinion. Like, hey, y'all come join me, haha. But it wasn't. And my shirts, my uniform actually says Crazy Thing Army on them and not Crazy Thing. Because this isn't about me. When she started that, she actually started a movement. So I went from 2,000 followers to now on TikTok, I'm at 105,000 followers. And those are organic followers. Those aren't stuff that I promoted and bought and everything, because I can have 1 million tomorrow if you spend enough money. No, these are people that genuinely saw what I do and follow me. And back when they used to keep up with it on TikTok, the hashtag hit well over 2 million. And it was amazing. So she started something and saw something in me. And since then, she has passed away, leaving our children and stuff behind. And that's more of that impact that I've told you about. Crazy Thing Army supports me. Everybody that has ever watched a video, hit the like button, shared it, or bought anything from me, of course, you are part of Crazy Thing Army. You're part of me and everything I do. And basically 20% of everything I do goes right back into somebody with Crazy Thing Army. We've helped people with hospital bills. We've helped people with funeral costs and losses. And we run fundraisers where they do some absolutely crazy stuff to me. And They pay me a lot of money to dress up all wild and crazy. Last Christmas, we went to Walmart here at our local Walmart, and I dressed up as the pink bunny from A Christmas Story. And my wife was the leg lamp from Christmas Story. And we handed out candy canes in the craziest, busiest time of the year when everybody was in such a horrible mood out shopping. And we got to go out and create those smiles. And it was all Crazy Thing Army's doing. They paid for it all. And it's just amazing to watch all this come together. And that's what Crazy Thing Army is. It's people coming together and making that impact.
That's great. Looking ahead, how do you see your art evolving in the next few years?
Well, of course, I want to get better. Probably one of my biggest fears is to run out of work or run out of airbrush work. And February of 2024, I got down to like 6 projects and was scared to death. And I done the grind. I come out here, stayed off social media for a little bit, and I just put out product and put out product and put out videos, flooded social media, 10 posts a day, doing everything I could. I watched it start exploding. I got to where I was about a month ahead. Then I got to where I was 2 months ahead. Currently today, I'm sitting on 12 weeks worth of work just in the shop. I've got bookings for me to go out and airbrush at events and stuff all the way to June of next year. And it's no sign of it slowing down at all. I will have to eventually figure out how to make an income off of social media where it's not all physical labor. And that's probably where I would like to see my future. If I can inspire and motivate people, and I can do it through sponsorships, perhaps if somebody wants, their name and logo behind me as I'm streaming, or their products. I have done some affiliate programs with some airbrush companies who have sent me their equipment to do reviews. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out the smart way to do it with the times and technology, and figure out how to have that other income coming in, because I don't get 401k through my airbrush gun.
That's great. And Teresa just said you always give back to those that are in need too, which is that's pretty cool that somebody else is saying that about you. And we also got Bobby Lee Stewart saying he is a saint. He has saved so many.
I'm always looking out for others. Whether it's through addiction, I have 25 years of experience, which is ironic because today makes 9 years of free and clear of my sobriety, which is just so cool to have that today and be able to do this. But I don't use that for sales, but I use that to let you know I did.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very much so. Congratulations.
I understand the struggle because I lived it. I didn't read it in the book like a lot of therapists would to give you advice. So on the backside of the business, I'm constantly helping somebody out and lifting somebody up, encouraging other small businesses, all the things, anything that I can do from my experience, I'm going to teach it to other people.
That's great. What do you want people to feel when they own or see your work?
Well, it obviously depends on the subject matter. Fear a lot with all the skulls and Halloween stuff. But I want them to feel what their intentions were when they bought it. If they bought something scary, I want it to be scary. If they bought something like a memorial piece, I remember just 4 years ago when my son was 14 or 13, that I ironically had a lady tell me about her daughter and her suicide. And nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody wants to talk about those subjects. Well, I had to airbrush that along with the entire story and background and everything. So there has to be emotions with a lot of my art. I feel it. The client feels it. I engage with people as I do it, and I tell them the story and let them feel it. So there's absolutely a lot of emotions with it. And then there's other ones that'll just absolutely make you laugh, make you smile, and make your day. So there's a lot of it. There's no single emotion.
That's great. I like that. What advice would you give young or aspiring artists, specifically local ones, but also just any artist watching that maybe, hasn't taken the leap or wants to become an artist?
I'll tell them like I do all the time. I do this every day. you better be ready to give it 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Because if you're not, it's just a hobby. Owning your own business gives you a freedom like you will never understand. It's an absolute amazing thing for your soul and your heart and your mind, but it is a lot of work. And there's so many people that know what to do but refuse to do it. They don't want to be on video. They don't like the way they look on camera. They don't like the way they sound on camera. They don't know how to make a Facebook post. If you ask me, how do I get up there? Well, how many Facebook friends you got? Oh, I got like 300. So out of a possibility of 4,999, you only gave it 300, and you want to be out there. You have to push it. I am on all the social medias, and I make more video content than most people. And that's why I'm running a full-time business, because I also airbrush more than most people.
I noticed. I was looking at your YouTube channel. You got like 1,000 some videos on there.
You ain't seen nothing. I've got a list this long of ones that are on my phone that I still have to do. I am on July 6th. That's how far back I am on my posts on my phone that I still have to put on social media. That's why I can't show you what I got behind me. That won't post for another, 6 weeks.
Gotcha. I'm going to go ahead. We had another question. I'm going to switch this up real quick and switch over to this. Do a little screen share. Let's make sure you're over here, wherever. I don't know. We're all down here in the small corner, but we're just showing. Somebody had asked, where can you order a custom piece? And I'm thinking it's Etsy. I saw it on here. Is that right?
That is correct. Local people can come to my shop anytime. I'm actually open 10 to 5, Monday through Friday. My business is open.
Gotcha. That's great. And you're in Cecilia, right?
Yes, sir. Right on Main Street, easy to find. Google will also tell you. And as far as the Etsy page is concerned, we currently just hit just over 2,900 sales in 5.5 years, and I'm pushing to try to get 3,000 by the end of the year. Wow,
that's great.
A lot of pieces.
That is. So anyway, guys, go to the Etsy. It's on our link tree at Hardin Local, or you can just go to etsy.com/shop/crazythingart. But you can also just go to his crazythingart.com, or you can go to hardinlocal.com. I got it linked. So we'll go back to the main. Oh, look at that. What is that? A baseball helmet?
This is called a failed idea. I have a lot of them. I think we all have. I thought it'd be a good idea to get these. These are actually motorcycle helmets, and they're the baseball style. And I made this one and thought, man, I'm going to make some custom ones. I started that about 1.5 years ago, and I've sold 2.
That's okay. Yeah, so I've been getting a lot of comments over here about asking you about what's the number one rule?
All right, so everybody that can hear the sound of my voice right now, I told you are a part of Crazy Thing Army. And in Crazy Thing Army, we have one rule. I know nobody likes rules, but it's still there. You have to remember it while you're watching me. You have to remember it while you're not watching me. The one rule is, you are awesome. It's simple, it's corny, it's cheesy, but if you remember it, it'll make a difference in your life.
I think so. I've watched a few of your videos, and you always start with that, it seems like. And that's just a good, in this world that's so negative, it's nice to see somebody that's not.
I made a video today telling everybody, like, you're going to see all the negativity, but don't absorb it. Don't put yourself in a rabbit hole where that's all you see and that's all you do. It's going to put you in a place mentally that you don't want to be. So there's nothing wrong with getting facts and seeing the news and being aware. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to back away from it. And then my lives are a safe place. I don't get too political. I'm not going to give you my opinions on who's doing what. And people that come in and talk about it, I just ignore them. It's not the place.
If your art style was a movie genre, what would it be?
Probably horror. That's what I'm known the best for.
That's what I figured.
I do the cute stuff. People tell me all the time, why don't you airbrush Jesus? Why don't you order it? I mean, I have airbrushed Jesus. I have no problem with it. Literally anything it doesn't matter to me. I'm not here to judge you. As long as it's not something that I feel that you're going to have harmful intent with, I will airbrush. I had a truck driver ask me to airbrush 3 furries wearing diapers on shirts. Okay, I don't care. I'm not going to ask questions. That's not my. They're your shirts. I'm just an artist. So it doesn't matter to me what it is, as long as it's not harmful. But I'm definitely known for my scary stuff. I do what sells.
I like the eye. That how do you do that? How do you make the eyes look so real?
Details. You literally have to go in there, and of course, all I'm doing for a living, guys, I'm taking pigment and water and trying to trick your eye into seeing something that isn't there. So if you'll get in there and you'll make sure you put the eyelashes in, you make sure you put things like these little moisture places, because eyes are very, very wet. Reflections, and if you're looking at reflection, you can see the shadow of the eyelashes. And all those little things that are actually there when you look at an eye, you need to airbrush those. The hardest part for an artist is to airbrush what you see and not what you think is there. You know, because you automatically want to just put a nose there because you know it's there, or anything like that. But you got to do what is actually in the picture. That's what it takes. Attention to detail.
Angela said it's the shadow effect, I guess.
Yeah, shadowing. Like I said, I've got a few pieces, but I can't show you the. But yeah, shadows really help a lot because shadows are in your world. That is what makes the difference between it looking like a stick figure and putting that extra effort into it to making it look real. This is one of my current prints that I'm selling.
That's
Landscapes
nice.
and things like that are no problem. That looks like a place that could actually exist.
It really does. It's great. John, what do you got? You got any other questions? I'm running through my list.
I asked a couple. Yeah, the few I had, he took care of. I really enjoyed hearing all about his kind of travel through this experience.
It's been fun, I tell you that. I literally have airbrush work in every state of the United States, including Puerto Rico and Guam and 12 other countries.
That's awesome. So Eddie, we thank you for doing this with us. We're gonna start wrapping up.
Thank you.
Is there anything you wanted to end with on your end as far as talking?
Well, again, I do this so that I can impact other people. This isn't about the money. That's just a requirement to pay your bills. But I do this to make an impact. And whatever you're doing out there, whatever it is, do it with a purpose. And if you'll do that, you'll wake up every morning feeling great, and you'll have that purpose to keep you going throughout your day. And as long as you'll be transparent and honest, when you sleep at night and you lay your head down on your pillow, you're going to feel great. And that's happiness. Like, create somebody else's smile, make those impacts, and you're going to love life.
That's great. I agree. I'm going to meet you both real quick. Just I keep getting some feedback. But as we're ending here, I really appreciate it. I got you both muted, so I'm going to close this out here. Before we got off, I just want to take a few minutes for us to have, well, not a few minutes, but just have a quick moment of silence and remember it's the 9/11. And so let's do that just for a few minutes, or just for like 10 seconds. Just take a moment of silence. All right. Also, when you all meet my dog, Dobby, he's been sitting here listening the whole time. I'll unmute you guys real quick. But we named him after Harry Potter, the Dobby on Harry Potter. So, well, anyway, guys, we thank you for being here.
Do you give your Dobby a sock? Do you give your Dobby a sock?
Well, like a sock to chew on? Yeah.
Well, in the movie,
Yeah.
the sock, the Dobby got the sock, and he,
Yeah. It's been a minute since I've watched the Harry Potter movies, and like I know when I was watching it with my kid a few different times, I was always like, I don't have the best memory of movies. They're not my thing. I usually fall asleep. But there might, I think even the dog looks more like Chewbacca. But this has been great.
Yeah.
If you are a local artist in Central Kentucky and you would like to do this, reach out to us, send us a message, and yeah, we'll try to get you your own spotlights set up. If you're a business or somebody that would like to sponsor these episodes, that'd be great too. Because for now we're just doing it out of the goodness of our heart, just to build up the audience and everything. So
what does it take to get it out there?
yeah, that's what it takes.
It takes. You got to push the buttons, guys. Push the buttons. Share it out. Let everybody see it.
That's for sure. So what we'll be doing after this is over. I'll take the video footage from this live stream. I'll cut it up into clips, and I'll definitely be posting it across our social media and sharing it with Eddie so he can share it as well too. And so we'll be doing that over the next. I probably won't get it done till next week, just because I have to work some this weekend and have some other prior commitments.
If you're able to send me the whole file, I might be able to download it and put it on the on my YouTube as well.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. That won't be hard to do. I'll send you a share file for it. And we thank everybody for watching. I can't really tell how many have watched. I know on one of the social medias we got 15, but it doesn't show me across all the different platforms how many combined. But I'll get those numbers later.
Sweet.
Anywho, thank everybody for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and we just and right before we go, just wanted to also take a moment to just remind everybody to use your words and to not be afraid of what you believe in and what you think's important. And in this day and age and where we live now, with it being 9/11 and then what happened yesterday, I just think it's important for those of you that are people that don't like to speak up. Go ahead and speak up. You might be the voice of reason. And I'll leave you guys with that. You guys stay on, but we're going to go ahead and end the stream.
All right.